Israel is saying the next person in line for Hezbollah's leadership appears to have been eliminated. The senior Hezbollah leader allegedly killed was widely expected to succeed Hassan Nasrallah, Hezbollah's longtime leader, who was assassinated in that Israeli strike September 27th. Well, Israel says it's also expanding its incursion into southern Lebanon. The IDF saying it sent in thousands of troops to fight Hezbollah amid this intense bombing campaign. The Iran-backed terror group just launched one of its largest rocket barrages yet as well on the northern Israel city of Haifa. Hezbollah's acting leader vowing to keep fighting Israel, but leaving the door open for a potential ceasefire as well. Our Patrick Reevell is in Beirut. So, Patrick, let's talk about the significance of this apparent killing of the successor to Hezbollah's leadership. What do we know?
Hi, Kira. Yeah, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced a little while ago that likely Hashem Safieddine has been likely killed in a strike here last week, and he is the presumed successor of Hezbollah's leader Hassan Nasrallah. It's believed that Israel is saying it was believed he was killed in a huge strike here last week. It's true that Safieddine has not been heard from since then, and Israel is now saying that he was killed, that they believe he was almost certainly killed, and they are being triumphant and saying that this is a huge blow to Hezbollah, and that is correct. It is a shattering blow to Hezbollah, which was already reeling from the loss of Nasrallah, who was a giant figure here in Lebanon. And now the fact that his immediate presumed successor, who was also his cousin, has been killed, this is a huge blow to their organization. He was also seen here as really the only person with the possible stature who could possibly fill the shoes of Nasrallah. It means that Hezbollah has really been decapitated. It will, of course, mean that their command and control is also still in a great deal of disarray, and that they will be really struggling at a time when they're, of course, under enormous military pressure from Israel. But this, of course, I think is worth noting what Prime Minister Netanyahu said in his speech announcing the likely killing of Safieddine. He said that he called basically on the people of Lebanon now that they have a chance to essentially overthrow Hezbollah and try and take their country back, is what he said. He said also he basically delivered an ultimatum. He said that this is your opportunity now to take back your country from Hezbollah and save Lebanon from falling into the abyss of a long war and seeing the destruction similar to that in Gaza. Essentially, he's calling on people here and the different communities to try and push out Hezbollah and sideline them. That is a very dangerous thing to be calling for in Lebanon, in a place like Lebanon with its history that, of course, was devastated by a very long and very, very bloody civil war, where there are many, many different communities and who, it's true, may have very difficult relationships with Hezbollah, but to try and bet on essentially a conflict between these different communities and Hezbollah is, of course, a very dangerous thing to be calling for. It's also, I think, quite a doubtful strategy. I think many people who we've been talking to here blame Israel for the current war. And so I think what we see here is while the Israelis hope that by decapitating Hezbollah, they will weaken it to the extent that it will be sidelined in Lebanon. I think really the most important thing is that we're seeing an ultimatum from Netanyahu saying that if you don't sideline Hezbollah, you can expect a long and very destructive war here in Lebanon, Kira.
So let's talk about the latest now on Israel's push into Lebanon. What do you think is going to happen next?
Yeah, there's been big developments in the ground offensive by Israel today. Israel has announced that it's sending thousands more troops into southern Lebanon. They've deployed a 4th division to take part in this operation, which has already been going on now for more than has been going on for 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks, and it's obviously significant because it shows that Israel is expanding its operation there, and it's also backed by very, very intense airstrikes. We've seen extremely intense airstrikes in southern Lebanon. Again today, yesterday, for example, the IDF said they launched over 120 strikes in less than an hour using 100 warplanes. That gives you a sense of the intensity of the strikes there. We've seen more strikes again here in Beirut, and this is all backed as well by expanding evacuation zones in southern Lebanon, with Israel also now issuing an evacuation order and a warning for people to get away from the coast all the way up to the city of Sidon, which is much of the south of Lebanon. And so I think all signs from Israel right now is that it's intending to further expand its ground incursion into Lebanon, Kira.
All right, Patrick Reevell there for us in Beirut. Patrick, thank you.